Right now at 6, authorities in southeast Kansas issue a warning concerning a toll fee scam.
And we've got another cold start to the day. Some slick spots here and there, but it is going to be warmer. We'll have a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a school district in southeast Kansas asked voters to approve a bond issue to address safety and accessibility concerns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is finally Friday. It's Valentine's Day. Of course, you know, it's the day of love.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. See, look,
I don't know about
I'm not afraid to have fun. That might be creepy, but I'm not afraid to have fun. Hey, listen, okay, you want to talk about something that'll throw you off. If you've never watched Star Trek before, you know I have, okay?
Yeah.
There's an episode of the original show in the 60s where there's this guy, it turns out he's a brutal killer. He's a serial killer. He's basically Jack the Ripper is what they find out. But the guy playing him was the voice of Piglet for Winnie the Pooh in that same era. And his voice still sounds like Piglet, so now you've got Piglet on a killing spree, and it's really freaky.
Well, I mean, happy Valentine's Day. With that,
Look,
I
have so much good information.
Whoa.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Seriously, let's take a look outside before this derails a little further. But no, really, it's interesting, okay? Now, the thing is, yeah, people are like, okay, it's the strangest thing you've said in the last 10 minutes, but now you're also going to be looking up this episode of Star Trek to find Piglet as a serial killer, okay? We've got some slushy spots still out there, still some slick spots here and there, so you want to slow down. You want to watch out really for that potential for black ice. And I'll be honest, my entire drive in here looked great. Little bits of black ice here and there, especially on the rural roads, but nothing major. You still want to be cautious. KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh on 69 looks great as well, especially compared to yesterday. As mentioned, the road crews got a chance to get out. The sun certainly helped with that. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looks good as well. On to the future track clouds. We're going to be mostly cloudy, a straight up cloudy, but we are also going to be warmer today. South winds gusting out there and bringing our temperatures up for many of us considerably closer to normal. We should be dry for today, but it is going to be breezy and it's going to be a bit warmer. Right now, though, it is not warmer in at all. See, now it's starting to correct itself. We're up to 12 in Sedan. There's something up with the temperature reporting on this map. I don't control it. I'm just saying it's not 100% accurate. Majority of us, though, into the upper teens and low 20s. And you factor in the wind chills, and it feels a little colder. We have some single digits and we have some teens out there. Now, the good news is the winds aren't that bad right now, but they will increase as we head through the morning. So kids get on the bus, coat absolutely, partly cloudy, low 20s, south breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour. That bus brings them home right around 44. South winds sustained at 10 to 20, gusting to 30 with those mostly cloudy skies. So breezy. Our highs today, mid upper 40s for most of us, so putting us pretty close to average. Some of us maybe the low 40s out there, but either way, paint it much warmer. Could get we're going to get some additional melting done. However, there are changes on the way. It's going to be warmer tomorrow, then the rain gets here, and then it gets much colder. Details on all of that, and next week's snow chances here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Uniontown, Kansas School District is asking voters to approve an upcoming bond issue. The $1.25 million bond project would address safety and accessibility concerns. KOAM Samantha Walker spoke with district staff to learn why they say the bond would address not just wants, but district needs.
Safety and accessibility are two things the Uniontown USD 235 hopes to prioritize with an upcoming bond issue. There are 3 projects district staff hope to tackle with the $1.25 million bond. One project is to make the front doors of West Bourbon Elementary not only more secure, but accessible according to the Americans with Disability Act.
The entrance that we have is original to the building from the 70s. Obviously, it's important for students and parents who might need to use that, but that's also where the majority of our patrons and community members come to attend events.
The bond would also allow for new fire alarms in the high school, replacing ones that don't have smoke detectors or alert first responders. The biggest project the bond would allow for is the replacement of the module units housing their preschool. The decades-old units were bought used and struggled to be properly heated or cooled.
We've done some pretty severe upkeep to it. but it is needing to be replaced, needs a safer environment for our students.
The district tried to pass a larger bond issue in 2023, but it failed. The superintendent says they've now cut it down, so they're only asking for their biggest needs.
We're not asking for something arbitrary or something just for fun. Like, these are legitimate things that, in order to ensure the preschool happens, ensure we don't have a fire emergency or disaster at the high school, and ensure patrons can, access, equitably the front doors.
He says these projects will have to be addressed whether the voters approve the bond or not.
To try to accomplish some of those things, and that would be very, very difficult.
School staff say they see these projects as an investment in the district's future.
We want these students and the future of Uniontown to continue to be a great place for education.
Reporting in Uniontown, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
District staff say if passed, the bond would not increase taxes. That's because property values have increased faster than the district expected from a previous 2016 bond. Now, there is now room to pay for the proposed bond issue without increasing the tax rate or extending the payment timeline. Voters will decide on the bond issue in a special election March 4th. And the Pittsburgh Police Department wants you to know about a scam going around. Some people in the Pittsburgh area are receiving text messages indicating that they need to pay toll fines. They are also social media posts claiming the Kansas Turnpike is alerting people about unpaid toll fines. The Pittsburgh PD wants you to know that both of these are scams. Deputy Chief Ben Henderson says you shouldn't respond to the messages or posts. He also says people should avoid clicking these links and providing financial information.
No point in time again would the Turnpike Authority actually ever try to communicate directly through somebody's social media account or by email. Official communication would either come through a letter from the state of Kansas officially.
He recommends people call their local law enforcement if they've been a victim of a scam. And with today being Valentine's Day, you might wonder if inflation is impacting traditional gifts and celebrations. Well, he visited Sunkissed Floral and Greenhouse in Miami, Oklahoma to see if locals are still celebrating the holiday in the same way.
We are very busy. Me and my daughter have been coming in at 3 in the morning, the last 3 mornings. It's amazing what people will spend at Valentine's Day. They always add a box of chocolates and a balloon usually.
I had previously ordered these to have sent to Tanya at school where she worked.
The owner says one of the most sought after items is roses. She says she tries to encourage mixes as well. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Apple App Store and the Google Play Store has restored TikTok to their U.S. app stores. Plus, hundreds of federal workers are now out of a job in President Trump's government reduction push. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Google Play is bringing back TikTok. The company said it restored the platform to its U.S. App Store Thursday. That's after President Donald Trump signed an executive action to delay a ban on the app and his promises to save it. And the question of TikTok's future in the U.S. stems from a law signed last April by then President Biden, citing national security concerns. After that, the Supreme Court upheld the ban. Apple also restored TikTok to its App Store Thursday evening. Well, Americans are finding it more difficult to pay off their debt and in some cases haven't been this overextended since the aftermath of the Great Recession. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York released its latest look at credit conditions for American households. According to the quarterly report, all major loan categories, including mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, saw increases. The report also showed Americans appear to be having more difficulty dealing with debt. Overall delinquency rates increased from the previous quarter, and the share of households that missed payments for 90-plus days on their auto loans and credit cards are at 14-year highs. Well, now to the latest in President Donald Trump's quest to reduce the size of the U.S. government. Sources tell CBS News that hundreds of federal workers have received layoff notices, with more expected in the coming days and weeks. Yesterday, Trump's Department of Government Efficiency head Elon Musk called for the elimination of entire federal agencies. As Jared Hill reports from New York, President Trump is also taking another step in his threat to put reciprocal tariffs on goods the U.S. imports from other countries.
This morning, hundreds of federal workers are out of a job, and thousands more are bracing for sweeping layoffs.
We have here rule of the bureaucracy as opposed to rule of the people.
Speaking virtually at a World Summit Thursday, Elon Musk, head of President Donald Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, said entire federal departments should be deleted.
If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back.
The long-term scope isn't clear, but CBS News has learned recent federal hires still on probationary status across several departments have received termination notices. Same for about 1,000 workers at the Department of Veterans Affairs as of yesterday. Democrats protested outside the VA.
9 million veterans are watching you give them the middle finger. And we're not going to stand for it.
U.S. officials have also confirmed that DOJ employees are examining the IRS, though yesterday President Trump told reporters he doesn't plan to close the agency.
I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else.
On a jam-packed Thursday that included meetings with India's Prime Minister, the president also signed an executive order directing his administration to look at imposing tariffs to match those that other countries put on U.S. goods. Critics warn it could hurt efforts to fight inflation.
Prices could go up somewhat short term, but prices will also go down.
The president argued those reciprocal tariffs would level the playing field for American workers. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, breaking overnight, a federal judge in Washington, D.C. has ordered the Trump administration to temporarily restore U.S. foreign aid funding for contracts put into place before President Trump took office. Now, the ruling came after two health groups that receive U.S. funding filed a lawsuit against the president's 90-day freeze on aid. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker again. We've got some somewhat clear skies out there, but you can see clouds getting ready to roll in, and they will increase across the area. We'll stay dry and slightly warmer today, ahead of rain chances tomorrow. Another look at your forecast when we come back.
Well, two Arizona women first bonded over their love for baseball, specifically the Chicago Cubs. Now they're forever bonded through the gift of life. Jason Berry has the story.
Denise Vasquez and Kathy Weedley knew right away they'd be lifelong friends from the moment they met at a Cubs spring training game at Mesa's Sloan Park in 2022. We interviewed Denise at the ballpark a year later, where the Navy veteran shared her love for the Cubs.
We literally moved from California here just for spring training. And you got to try, at least try.
But an unexpected health crisis that came from out of left field has put this friendship in a league of their own. Kathy recently learned her 54-year-old baseball buddy needed a kidney after the rare medical condition Denise had took a turn for the worse. Amazingly, the retired school teacher was a match and offered to step up to the plate and give her fellow Cubs fan a kidney.
It's part of giving back. I was afflicted 18 and a half years ago with 3 diseases, West Nile virus, spinal meningitis, encephalitis, and I was told I wouldn't wake up the next day. So I promised God, give me my life back as I've always known it, and I'll do good every day the rest of my life. This is part of it.
For her to step up when she did. She saved my life. She's given us many more spring trainings and a lot more Cubs games.
We sat down with the donor and recipient at Dignity Health St. Joseph's Hospital in Phoenix, where the transplant took place. A month after the procedure, both patients are feeling good and ready to play ball on the road to recovery.
It's a great story.
Kidney transplant coordinator Gabrielle Juarez says there's no reason these two brave ladies can't be back in the stands cheering on their cubbies when spring training games start up again in a few weeks.
The goal of transplant is quality of life. That's what we tell our patients. So getting back to those things that they want to do, being able to go to the Cubs games, being able to, enjoy that hot dog at the game again, and enjoying the camaraderie that brought them to this point.
Denise said it's hard to put into words how much it means to know that her dear friend went to bat for her and that her favorite team helped save her life.
If it wasn't for the Cubs, I would have never met her, and she would have never known I had kidney failure, and yeah, we would never be here. It means my whole life.
Well, the women say they hope their story will inspire others to give the gift of life. Now, today, February 14th, is also National Donor Day. Now, here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Now, we've seen conditions, of course, with the roads improving out there, and we will continue to see that through today as we warm up and get breezy. Another look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:22 on this finally Friday, Valentine's Day out there, and it is going to be a warmer day. It'll be cloudy, it'll be breezy, but I will certainly take that over the bitterly cold temperatures we've had, and I'm sure most of you will as well. As we head into the afternoon, we're going to have mostly cloudy to cloudy skies, and again, it's going to be breezy out there, but temperatures are going to be pushing a lot closer to normal for most of us as we head through the afternoon hours. Now, we have some good news. Clouds tonight will act as a bit of as a thermal blanket. We've talked about that before. It helps keep the warmer air in, so our temperatures tonight won't fall back that far, which is also pretty decent. It'll be cool tonight, but not as bad as it has been. Definitely not into the teens. As we head down into Saturday, cold front starts to slide through. Now, unfortunately for our friends in the deep south, this is their third round of severe weather just in the last week, I think, and it will not be impacting us with the severe weather, but showers, maybe a rumble of thunder too, absolutely possible as we head through the late morning and into the afternoon hours on Saturday. Now, ahead of it, we'll have those gusty south winds. Once we get behind this front, we'll have gusty north winds, and of course then we'll also see an opportunity, depending on how much moisture is left behind, we could see some light flurries in the afternoon and late afternoon and evening, and maybe even some light snow showers briefly between roughly 9 p.m. and midnight Saturday. And then temperatures drop, and they drop pretty far, back to where we are now almost, into the teens and 20s as we start our Sunday, and it's going to be another cold one on Sunday as well. So the big concern, we're not worried about accumulating snowfall as we head into Saturday night. What we are worried about is that potential for black ice and refreezing of the rain that we do get on especially bridges and overpasses and of course various roadways. So do keep that in mind. And remember, the plow crews, they can't scrape ice. They can try and treat the roads, but the rain will wash off anything they try and pre-treat. So you need to be extra careful late Saturday into early Sunday. It is cold right now though. We've got upper teens. We're starting to see a few more low to mid 20s. You factor in that breeze, and it is feeling pretty cold in some locations. We had single digits for some of us and into the teens for others with those wind chills. I think the good news is while it's not pleasant with these wind chills, the gustier winds are going to hold off a little later today, so we don't have to necessarily worry about dangerously cold wind chills this morning, but they are still bitterly cold. Mid-20s to start, mid-30s by late morning, and again, mostly cloudy skies as the clouds are expected to increase pretty quickly from the west out there. Again, a mix of mostly cloudy to cloudy skies, mid-upper 40s, south winds occasionally gusting to 30 miles an hour. Into tonight, again, still breezy. South winds gusting to 30, but the clouds locking in that warmer air, so the temperatures will level out. We're looking about 40, maybe a couple of degrees either side of that, but right about 40 out there for us. Tomorrow, even warmer, upper 40s, low 50s. Then we'll see that cold front push through. Temperatures will drop behind that into the teens, only into the upper 20s Sunday. We have a possible alert day Tuesday. I want to talk about this just real quick. We are looking at snow. I told you long-range data showed 3 potential, I want to say that, emphasize that, possible snow systems before the month was over. The first one was what we just got. This is the second one. Believe it or not, there's a third one out there too. But this second one does look to be bringing us accumulating snowfall. There's some pretty good consistencies that we're going to get more than just a dusting, more than just an inch. Now, as to how much, I will give you that example. Those long-range models, one suggests 4 to 6 inches, the other suggests 11 to 15. So there's still wide variances. The one thing they agree on is it appears to be starting about 6 a.m. Tuesday approximately, and running through about 3 a.m. Wednesday. They both seem to agree on the timing. They just don't agree on how much snow we'll get. So we need to watch this very carefully because we are at least looking at a very likely possibility of some accumulating snowfall out there. After that, though, we're looking at also the very likely probability of dangerously cold temperatures as they plummet back behind that. So whatever snow we do get next Tuesday isn't going to go anywhere for a little while. Let's check your forecast, and now we're going to send it over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, infant mortality rates are rising in states that adopted abortion bans. A study published in JAMA found an increase of 478 infant deaths in 14 states with bans in place. Now, the increase was highest among Black families and also among infants with congenital anomalies. Well, conversations about parental duties are often led by mothers, even if both parents earn the same amount of money. A study by University College London showed not only do women typically lead the conversation about parenting, but in most cases, there's little to no discussion about the man changing his work schedule, even when the woman earns more. Now, traditional ideas about gender roles may be the reason for the disparity. And you ever say you're full, but somehow still find room for dessert? Well, there's a scientific reason. A study by the Max Planck Institute found mice who had already been well fed still wanted to eat even more when given sugar. Now, it turns out there's a group of nerve cells in the brain which release endorphins in reaction to sugar. Now, when those nerve cells were blocked, the mice no longer craved sweets after a meal. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, dozens of vendors head to Joplin for the 2025 Contractor Expo.
And we've got another bitterly cold start out there. Some slick spots still possible on roadways, but we are going to be much warmer. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Crowder College offers a free and unique way to enjoy the theater.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 6:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is finally Friday in the 4 states. It's February the 14th. For some of you, it's just Friday. We're leading into the weekend. For others, it's Valentine's Day, which is a pretty big deal. So hopefully taking care of everything you need to take care of.
Yes.
Getting ready. I will be taking care of things as soon as I leave today. And then I'll be ready. So, and I know there will be things out there. There will be plenty of last minute things.
Oh,
there always are. It's going to be a little warmer today, but it's also going to be a little windier today as well. Again, not so much a problem for me, but Elise, for example, she has a lot more hair than I do. It could be a bit of a problem keeping that all together. So just a heads up, especially ladies, I know you're probably wanting to, dress up, look nice this evening for those Valentine's Day dinners and dates and stuff. It's going to be very windy. So just whatever you do, prepare for that as well. Let's take a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. We're looking pretty good so far. Still some slushy spots, as you can see out there, but otherwise not bad. And skies for the time being are mostly clear to partly cloudy, but that will begin to change as we head through the morning hours, and clouds will begin to increase across the area. We'll have to contend with that and the warmer weather. KDOT camera on 69 looks good. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looks good. Sun's beginning to rise, and again, at least for now, skies out to the east are clear, so we got a beautiful start to the day. Nice look at that sunrise. Future track, we've got some clouds. Again, mostly cloudy to just straight up cloudy skies today. Gusty south winds, but temperatures much warmer. Many of us a lot closer to normal for the first time in a while as we head into the afternoon hours here on our Friday. But right now, nowhere near normal. We are into the upper teens and low 20s. Very cold. We have a light breeze for now, but that's still enough to put those wind chills for some of us back into the single digits, like Fort Scott, Nevada, Yates Center, Sedan. Great examples of where it's bitterly cold this morning. However, it will eventually warm up. Until then, though, kids absolutely are going to want a coat. We're going to go into the low 20s when the bus picks them up. Partly cloudy, south breeze 5 to 10. And that south wind's going to pick up, gusting around 30, and we'll be right around 44 with those mostly cloudy skies when the bus brings them home. So those clouds will increase. It's going to be breezy, but it's going to be warm, mid-upper 40s for most of us. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow. Then it rains, and then a cold front comes in. We have some big changes on the horizon. Details on all that in the full forecast, and that's going to come up here in just a few more minutes, Lisa.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Missouri State University is celebrating more than $9 billion in private donations. Now, among other things, the money will be used to renovate the Greenwood Laboratory School, establish new scholarships and funds to others, and support MSU athletics. There were also gifts for the Department of Digital Fashion and Merchandising, the MSU Care Clinic, and the Bear Food Pantry.
The donations are significant. These are individuals that have given their time, talents, and their treasures, and it's anywhere from capital improvements to endowed scholarships to helping programs like the marching band or the Lady Bears basketball. But these gifts really are impacting people's lives.
The donations came from alumni, members of the community, and former board members, among others. Well, some athletes from Lafayette Community College made the trip to Parsons Presbyterian Manor to brighten the day of some of the residents. 20 wrestlers from the school brought roses to warm their hearts of the residents at the senior and care facility the day before Valentine's Day.
Just being a part of the community. On the video that I saw, it was a group of gentlemen coming, and we know the wrestlers pretty well, so I contacted my daughter, and she contacted them just to be a part of the community, just to get them involved in it.
The Parsons Presbyterian Manor provides facilities for independent living, assisted living, and health services. Well, it wasn't exactly a live stage show in Neosho, Missouri last night, but it might have felt like it. Crowder College Theater kicked off its Thursdays at the Theater Series. People could gather at the Elsie Plaster Community Center on campus to watch a digital recording of a Broadway stage performance. Now, last night was a presentation of Cyrano de Bergerac, open to the public and free of charge.
Well, Crowder's here for us to have good education for those in a rural community, and here in the arts, we like to be able to share opportunities to experience the arts with people who may not have that opportunity outside of this area. So that's why we're I've been saying we're bringing Broadway to Neosho.
Well, the next Thursday at the theater event will be a presentation of Anything Goes on March 27th. On May 1st, you can see Taming of the Shrew. Well, no work meant all play for kids of all ages yesterday at Pittsburgh Schlinger Park. Some residents made the most of the snow day by building snowmen or taking in some high-speed sledding. The day was even more special for one grandpa who spent the day with his granddaughter.
Excellent. Went through it with my kids, now I get to go through it with her, and it's just so much fun. Just watching it in her eyes.
And keep those sleds out. 4 state residents may soon have another snow day coming in the very near future. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It's Friday, and that means Shannon Becker joins us with his big 3 stories of the week. And we have a warmer and windy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio this morning with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning. I want to tell you real quick traffic alert. There is a rollover crash on 249 south of 7th Street right now. So it'll probably take over an hour to get that cleaned up this morning. So be careful out there, everybody. Let's take a look at live and local news, what's happening where you live. Here is the Murphy's USA gas station in front of the Webb City Supercenter. Now, they tore it down this last week. It went down really quick. It's not really necessarily a big store, but it's part of their raise and remodel, raise and rebuild program they're doing. They have about 1,700 stores across the country. Last year, they tore down about 50 of them, and then they rebuilt them. So they're expecting the store to be back up. New, bigger, coming in probably by May. It'll be really quick, really quick. So you'll have that back. Our number 2 story. We had an exclusive as they took the boom off of the Page 618 walking drag line. This is really cool. This last Friday afternoon, we got invited to come out and see them move this huge boom. They were thinking probably weighs about 40,000 pounds, so about 20 tons. Oh my goodness. Maybe this. So what they do, they put these sets of wheels underneath it. I mean, it's amazing. It's so amazing. And they said that boom had not been taken off of the drag line since probably 1953 at least.
Oh my goodness.
So they're preparing it. They'll move the entire machine and everything near the Miners Hall Museum coming up here in this next year. Our number 1 story, Joplin News First, a tragedy continues. This is a 23-year-old young lady from Joplin. An Amazon driver was shot and killed tragically near Wentworth. And so now they discovered, of course, she had been shot in the head. They didn't know initially, they thought it was a traffic crash. And now she has passed away to Joplin Hospital. She died this last Sunday, family told us. So they have upgraded the charges for Thomas Coy. It's now first-degree murder and armed criminal action. There's no motive necessarily listed in the court paperwork.
Interesting.
However, neighbors had told different people, told us that, that he had complained a lot about people driving fast on the road. And he claims to have shot her with a pellet gun.
With a pellet gun, yes.
So, but of course, they'll not know what actually gun it was used until they have an autopsy.
Do you know if she was delivering a package to his
I'm
home?
not sure about that, but there are about 5 homes on that road, though.
Okay.
And you can see that slow down sign there. Yikes. And then our bonus story of the week, a lot of traffic releases, I guess you could say. 4th and Murphy Boulevard yesterday, they opened up to traffic. It's still a 4-way stop, but you can get through that intersection now. It's been closed for months. The roundabout at Zora, Duquesne, and Hall opened up. There's a big hump there in the middle. Did you see that?
I did, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Saying, we're going to ramp that thing. I'm like, I don't know about that. That wouldn't be that great. And then also, not only those 2 things have opened, also St. Louis Avenue is reopened. But just as soon as they're doing that, closing that, they'll open that, and then they're going to close Connecticut, which is a block to the east. It's always improving. Things are always moving along in all these different projects. The city of Joplin has got roads back open for you.
Fantastic. Well, Shannon, as always, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Happy to have you here as always. Stick around. We'll be right back.
All right, time for some Friday birthdays. We're going to start in Miami with Ava Coulter celebrating birthday number 1. It says, happy birthday, our little Valentine. Love mom, dad, and the family.
And also celebrating their first birthday in Chanute. A happy birthday to Jack Nickel. It says happy birthday from mom, dad, grand and great grandparents. You bring such joy to our lives.
And in Lamar, Luke Rice celebrating birthday number 7 says enjoy your day. Love your grandparents, uncles, and cousins.
And also celebrating their 7th birthday. Happy birthday to Madison Lance in Pittsburgh.
And in Webb City, Lillian Wells celebrating birthday number 10 says happy birthday from mom and dad.
And Gracie and Bailey Coram are celebrating their 11th birthdays. Happy birthday.
And in Pittsburgh, Lily Carlskent celebrating birthday number 13. A very happy birthday to you, Lily.
And in Stockton, a happy 15th birthday to Layton High School.
And in Chetopa, Darcy Bruce celebrating birthday number 24 today. Happy birthday, Darcy.
And a happy 28th birthday to Megan Westhoff in Parsons. It says here, have a great day. We love you, your family.
And in Weir, Jared Watson celebrating birthday number 28.
And in Joplin, a happy birthday to Brandon Lewis. It says here that Brandon is an Army vet. He's turning 49 today. Happy birthday.
Also celebrating birthday number 49 is Beth Bauer. Happy birthday to you, Beth.
And in Nevada, happy 50th birthday to Carrie Stark.
And Donna Reed in Miami celebrating birthday number 71 says have birthday wishes coming from your family and friends.
And making our way to Columbus, a happy 86th birthday to Wilma Dooley.
And anniversaries here, TJ and Starlet Jessup celebrating their first anniversary. A very happy anniversary to the Jessups.
And in McCune, a happy 22nd anniversary to Roe and Frosty Parsons.
And in Columbus, Gary and Lisa Sandberg celebrating their 39th anniversary. A very happy anniversary to the Sandbergs.
And happy birthday to John Flores in Fredonia.
And also celebrating a birthday, Glenda Darnell. A very happy birthday to you, Glenda.
And continuing our list over in Parsons with a happy 14th birthday to Emily Ray.
And we have Aaron Alsop celebrating birthday number 26. Says happy birthday. Love you, Mom, Zach, Kai, Murr, and the kids.
And a happy 78th birthday to Daryl Bloomfield in Fort Scott. He's formerly from Prescott as well. Very cool. Happy birthday, Daryl.
Very happy birthday, Daryl. And Susan Phelps celebrating birthday number 79 in Pittsburgh says we love you and you'll always be our #1 Valentine. Love Colton, Bryce, and Zaid.
And Brad and Carrie LaRue are celebrating their 39th anniversary in Chanute.
And last but certainly not least, we have Mike Rebel celebrating another year wiser in Iola. Says, hope you have an amazing day. Love the entire family and friends. Great list of birthdays and anniversaries, and if you would like to celebrate with us, Elise knows what you need to do.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those photos and messages to meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen, and to also please include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Absolutely. And you want to make sure that you are ready for Valentine's Day. Whatever your plans may be this evening, you're going to want to still have a light coat perhaps. And ladies, if you're doing up your hair, or guys, maybe you've got more hair than I do and you're doing it up as well, it's going to be breezy tonight. So keep that in mind. Whatever hairstyle you're going with, make sure it's one that's going to work with gusty winds, okay? As we head into the afternoon, we are looking at mostly cloudy to cloudy skies, breezy, around the 30s for most of us by noon, but we'll all warm up a lot closer to normal out there today. Just have to deal with those gusty winds. Now, clouds will increase overnight, and that helps as the clouds again act as that thermal blanket. They'll help keep in some of the warmer air today, which means our temperatures for overnight lows will not drop back that far. And by this time tomorrow, many of us are going to be starting 30 to almost 40 degrees warmer than where you're starting right now. That's going to be a huge change for us tomorrow morning. The only problem is it is extraordinarily short-lived. We'll get a cold front pushing through as we head into the late morning, early afternoon. That will trigger some showers, perhaps a thunderstorm or two. Again, no severe weather in our area that is expected off to our south, the deep south. This is, again, I think their third or fourth round of severe weather in the last week out there. Now, depending on how much moisture content we have behind the front, we could get some light snow. First, real quick before I forget, we'll have gusty south winds ahead of the front and gusty north winds behind it. But between about 9 p.m. and midnight on Saturday, we'll have a window for some light snow showers out there. Now, we're not expecting anything in terms of accumulations, but don't be surprised if you're heading out late tomorrow night, you see some flurries. The big thing we want to emphasize is between tomorrow night and into Sunday, temperatures behind this front, unfortunately, as I mentioned, are going to drop. They're going to get bitterly cold again. While we're not expecting much in terms of snow accumulations, what the concern will be is, again, with black ice. And, of course, road crews, they can't plow ice. You can't do that. It won't work unless you want to dig up the road to get the ice off. So that's going to be a concern. The other problem is for road crews, they can't pre-treat tomorrow, because with the rain, anything they put down, the rain will just wash it right back off. So that means we are looking at the very high likelihood of a number of slick spots, especially on bridges and overpasses, as we head into late Saturday and early Sunday. So again, keep that in mind. Remember, the road crews, I'm sure they'll be out overnight treating once the rain stops and the temperatures begin to drop, but just bear in mind it's going to be pretty cold, and we're going to have a number of slick spots, and we're going to remain very cold as we head into our Sunday afternoon. Very cold right now. We are sitting into the upper teens. We're starting to see a lot more low to mid 20s out there, and if you haven't been with us this morning, there's an anomaly. I do not know what's causing the issue, but Sedan and Independence, your temperatures here are not accurate. Your wind chills are, but your air temperature is not. You are warmer than that right now, but your wind chills are accurate. So it feels like 8 in Sedan, feels like 11 in Independence. We still have some single digits out there. Again, the wind's not too bad right now, which is great because it's very cold. It'd make these wind chills considerably more unbearable. But we do have a bit of a chill to the air, and the winds, again, will pick up a little later this morning. In fact, as we go through the morning, those winds increasing out of the south, mostly cloudy skies, mid-20s to start, about the mid-30s by 11 a.m. We're having another look at your forecast and the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to learn why buying chocolate for Valentine's Day could cost you more this year.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Uniontown School District is asking voters to approve of an upcoming bond issue. This $1.25 million bond project would make the elementary school doors accessible. The bond would not increase taxes. Now, voters will decide on the bond issue in a special election March 4th. And the Pittsburgh Police Department is warning residents about a text and social media scam going around. Now, some people in the area are being told that they need to pay toll fines. Pittsburgh PD wants you to know that this is a scam. Deputy Chief Ben Henderson says you shouldn't respond to the messages. And vendors from across Missouri and Arkansas made their way to the Downstream Casino for the Joplin 2025 Contractor Expo. Close to 30 vendors were on hand to share details on product lines, talk projects, demonstrate new items, and more. The expo also serves as a great way to network. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
As you head out the door, very cold this morning, but warmer later, mid to upper 40s, mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. South winds, though, gusting to 30. As we head through the evening, clouds will thicken up, and that will allow our temperatures to kind of level out about 40 tonight, give or take a degree or two. South winds still gusting up to 30. Cold tomorrow, well, not cold yet, upper 40s, low 50s tomorrow. Cold front comes through. Rain, maybe some light snow late Saturday. No accumulations, but black ice possible. Again, I want to emphasize next Tuesday. That's what we're really looking at here. We have the possible alert day. We're looking at the very high likelihood of not just the dangerously cold temperatures, but accumulating snow. But I also want to remind you, as of right now, the long-range data, the only thing they agree on is the timing, somewhere from 6 a.m. Tuesday to 3 a.m. Wednesday for that snow. It's the amounts that are still all over the place. One says somewhere from 4 to 6 inches. The other one says somewhere from 11 to 15 inches. So we'll get that narrowed down through the weekend and as we head into next week, but you definitely want to keep an eye on next Tuesday.
Let's look out for Chris. Thanks. And coming up today at noon, we're making salted chocolate pretzel toffee in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Plus, your morning news continues on KOM with CBS Mornings. Timothée Chalamet is getting plenty of Oscar buzz for playing Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown. Ahead on CBS Mornings, a preview of the Best Actor nominees conversation with 60 Minutes.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning is Valentine's Day. We're showing you that love could have some health benefits.
Plus, Shannon Becker back in the studio. Yeah, that in that order. Talk about his big 3 stories of the week. However, that is going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll, of course, see you today at noon.